Hey there, it's Odette Peak, and I want to share with you the 5 things that I learned walking the world's largest labyrinth called La Senda in Costa Rica a couple of weeks ago. And here they are. So, number 1, before I even entered the labyrinth, I had all in my head, okay, I'm going to have a really great intention. It's got to be super powerful and amazing. And I've really struggled with which one do I pick, and is it going to be perfect enough? What I learned from that, even before I got into the labyrinth, was this: is that I always strive to be perfect in anything that I do, and perfectionism is something that is a lot of people strive for, but we just don't attain. So I had to really breathe deeply and go, okay, just what is a simple intention that I have, and whatever came to my mind, that first thing that popped into my head, and then I just had to let it go. So number 1, nobody's perfect. The second thing that I learned is when I did enter the labyrinth, I was like, okay, great, this is awesome. Now this labyrinth was, it's the world's largest, so it has two main points. It was a positive and a negative energy. I don't know a lot about labyrinths, but this one had 2 centers. And it's, the walls are cactus walls, and it represents the female and the male energy. So you could see through, but there's cactuses everywhere, right? And I could see how big the labyrinth was. So as I started walking, I'm looking around going, oh my God, where does the path go? Where does it, how do I find my way? And I kept looking left, I kept looking right, and I'm looking all over the place trying to see, where am I going? How's it going to work? How long is it going to take me? Where's the center? Which center is the one that I'm going to? Because I could see both of them. And I was like, whoa. My learning in that was, I get so distracted when I'm trying to go down my path. All I needed to do was follow the path. And I was so in my head with where am I going? What am I doing? Am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? What's happening to my left? What's happening to my right? And I was always watching out for animals too, because, there's snakes and all sorts of weird things in the jungle. Or not weird. Amazing things in the jungle. I'm like a little afraid of some of them. And what I learned was just follow the path. Don't be distracted by your fears, your worries, your concerns, should-haves, what-ifs, all of that. The third thing that I learned when I did get to the center was, phew! I was like, oh my God, I made it. I made it to center number 1. And I really rested, and I just kind of breathed in the energy and my own energy, and I became super aware of my own energy and what I was thinking. And I realized that, wow, I have a lot of undercurrent negative chatter, self-sabotaging stuff, fears, worries were just so rampant. And I'm like, I never realized how my mind was constantly going like on that hamster wheel of negative crap. So my learning in that was to be really aware and hyper in tune with what was actually going on in my head. What was I saying? So awareness is one thing, was one thing that I learned, but to be really tuned in and dialed in to myself. The third element, when I was after I went through that first center, and I'm still walking around, trying to get to the second center, I started to worry about if I was on the right path, and was I doing the right thing? Because I started to do a self-reflection of myself in my own life. I'm going, wow, this labyrinth is a real metaphor for my life right now. So it made me chuckle, and it made me kind of go, ooh, that's some of it's not so great. But I realized when I was going through sort of the second part that self-love, positive self-talk, all of that was extra work. It wasn't natural. The negative self-talk and the worries and the fears and the distractions were more prevalent, and I had to really force the positive stuff. And I decided that as I was walking along that I wasn't going to look left, I wasn't going to look right, I was going to keep reinforcing the positive stuff. And I just kept saying to myself, you're on the right path. You're on the journey that you want to be on. You're on the right path. Everything is perfect just the way that it is. And my learning in this was, I still need to do a lot of the inner work, and I will continue to do the inner work, but it takes work. It takes you're building a muscle. So it's like going to the gym and trying to build a bicep. You have to keep doing it. And whenever you go into that negative space, it's like, whoa, I'm self-hyper-aware, really in tune with what I'm thinking right now. I need to switch it on a dime. And it's taking a few deep breaths. Maybe it's closing your eyes. Maybe it's listening to a heartfelt song, whatever it is that you need to do. But you got to sit with and go, I'm on the right path. Because there's forks in the road. There's, animals that are going to get in the way. Animals, yeah, really, there are. People are going to get in the way. Just stuff's going to get in the way, and you just have to keep trusting and knowing that you're on the right path. And finally, when I finally got to the second center and I was on my way back, I had a horse riding session after the Labyrinth walk. So I looked at my clock and my watch, and I thought, I got plenty of time. But when I looked at my clock, I had 15 minutes left to get out of the Labyrinth and then to hustle it to get to the main building to start the horseback riding that I was going to do. And I started to panic. I broke out into this deep sweat. And I'm like, how long is this going to take? Where's the exit? Okay, I can see the road to get out of here. I'm just going to cheat and I'm going to sneak through the Labyrinth. And I thought, I can't do that. That's a real metaphor in my life. So I had to get grounded and centered, and I got to admit, I picked up the pace, and I kept saying to myself, you're on the right path, you're on the right path, you are going to make it. You will find the exit, and you will make it on time. And I had to internally believe that, because it was like I wasn't going to cheat, and I had no idea how long the Labyrinth was. And I just had to stay super focused on what the end goal was. And the funny thing was, in my panic, within about 60 seconds, barely 60 seconds, all of a sudden, I came to the exit of the Labyrinth, and I was out. I was out of the Labyrinth. And I started to laugh really loudly. I'm like, this is a metaphor for my life, is how often do I panic that I'm not going fast enough. My path can't be the right one because I haven't seen the exit sign yet. I haven't seen the end goal. I haven't seen the prize at the end of it all. And I had this moment of, oh my gosh, Odette, just be patient. I realized that all too often, I am so scared that I'm never going to make it, that I don't enjoy the journey, and I'm always looking for the way out and the cheating way out to get me away from the pain or the worry and the fears. When all you have to do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep focusing on that goal, on that vision, on that dream, and just know deep in your heart that you will get there when the time is right. All right. Love you, love me, love the world.